Oh, hi! Welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan, and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. And what day is it today? Which day of the week do we find ourselves in at this very moment? Yes, that's right, people. It's Friday. It's the ultimate lesson of the week. It's the end of the second week of the 5 weeks of the Mega Revision Part 4. It's lesson 560, which is very impressive on its own. And it's not on its own, is it? No! This is a deal, a real deal. We've got, what? Let's have a quick think about it. We've had the best day of the week, Friday, we've got the last lesson of the week, we've got the fact that 560 people. That's amazing. Congratulate yourselves. We've been learning English together for almost 560 lessons. That's a stunning achievement. And if that wasn't enough, it's also the end of the second week of the Mega Revision Part 4. Yes, we're coming to the end of the second week, week 2 of 5. We're moving ahead like some sort of unstoppable juggernaut. We're on fire. We're like Chuck Norris mixed with that famous Belgian. No, not Johnny Halliday. The other one. What's his name? Of course, Adolphe Sax. Yes, that's the guy. The bloke who spent his time doing the splits between reversing juggernauts and whilst balancing on satellites. Strange hobby, but maybe it's because he's from Belgium. I don't know. Anyway, we're like a cross between those two. Chuck Norris and Adolphe Sax. All right, now that we know what we are, it must be time to get on with today's revision. Starting now! So, what were we doing yesterday? Who remembers? I know, you all remember. Fine. But let's have a quick look at the questions we saw yesterday afternoon, shall we? All right, so those were the sentences which we had to change into the past simple. Fine. And the first 4 were very simple, weren't they? Okay. Simple pimple. But then, number 5 had a bit of a twist in it, didn't it? Yes, number 5, question 5, wasn't a positive statement. It had a question mark at the end, which told us that it was a question. Okay, so we know that the pattern of positive statements and questions is different. We know that with positive statements, we follow the pattern of subject, then verb. And with questions, the pattern is verb, then subject. Now, if we turn number 5 into a positive statement, what do we get? Your holiday was nice. Good. We start with the subject, your holiday, which is the third person singular. So when we follow the subject with the verb, we know that we have to use was, not were. The correct form of the verb to be in the past simple for the third person singular is not were, but was. And after the correctly conjugated form of the verb to be, then we just finish the sentence with the adjective nice. And that's all. The sentence is finished. Your holiday was nice. Good. Now, how did you get on turning that positive statement into a question? What did you do to change it? Well, to change that positive statement into a question, we have to swap the positions of the subject and the verb, don't we? So, your holiday was becomes was your holiday. All right. And now what? Well, all we have to do now is to finish the sentence with what's left. All we've got left is the adjective nice. Your holiday was nice becomes was your holiday nice. And is there anything else? Yes. What's missing? What's missing from the end of the sentence? Yes, that's right. It's a question, isn't it? And that means that we need a question mark, doesn't it? Was your holiday nice? Perfect. Well done. And now, what about the last one? What about number 6? Where to be your sister last night? All right, now what about this one? How are we going to complete this one? It's a question. We can see that because there's a question mark at the end. But what's different here? Yes, that's right. With this one, we can't just make a positive statement and then change the positions of this and that to get our question. This one doesn't work as a positive statement, does it? No. This one starts with a question word, which means that we can't form a positive sentence with this one. Okay, so no help there. So what do we do? Well, it's simple, isn't it? We know that when we normally ask a question, we normally start with the verb, unless, that is, we're asking a question with a question word. Do you all remember? If we're asking a question with a question word, then the question word comes at the front. When we ask a question with a question word, a word like how, when, why, where, how much, something like that, we start with the question word and follow the question word with the verb. Okay, so where does that leave us? Well, that makes it really simple, doesn't it? We know that we have to start with the question word. We always do. So that goes at the front, we start with that. Okay, then what? Well, what's the next element of the sentence? It's the verb to be. Okay, so we start with the question word, where, and now we have to follow the question word with a verb, correctly conjugated. Okay, but what's the correct conjugation here? Well, what's the subject of the sentence? Your sister. Yes, correct. The subject in this sentence is your sister. And which subject is that? Yes, that's right. Your sister is her. It's the third person singular, isn't it? Yes, so what's the correct conjugated form of the verb to be in the past simple for the third person singular? Was. Yes, that's right. And that's it. All we have to do is follow the question word where with the correct form of the verb to be, was, and then follow the rest of the question. Easy. Where was your sister last night? Simple, wasn't it? Yes. Okay, now let's move on a bit and think about negatives. I know it's not a very positive thing to think about negative things, but, well, we have to do it. So, no whinging. Let's just get on with it. All right, so what do we need to make a negative sentence in English? Yes, that's right. The correct answer is not some sort of African primate. No, the correct answer is the adverb not. Okay, we all know that. But if we're making a negative sentence using the verb to be in the past simple, where do we put not? Do we just throw it into the sentence wherever we feel like? Well, listen to these sentences and see if they sound right to you. I don't know, not I was there. They not were at work. Last Friday, he was at not home. On Friday, we not were in the pub with Alfredo. So, how did those sound? Did they sound right? Or did they sound like the sort of thing that I.R. Baboon would say? Yes, they sounded awful, didn't they? I mean, yes, we can understand them, but they sound like they came from the mind of a baboon, not from the mind of a god of English. So, what do you all remember about the positioning of the adverb not? Where do we put not to make a sentence negative? Yes. Think about the structure of English sentences. When we're creating a positive sentence in the present simple, we follow the pattern of S plus V plus O. Subject, verb, then object, if there is one. I like computer games. You drink whiskey. She dances well. All right, and as we can see, in that last sentence, there's no object but an adverb telling us how she does something. Okay, and what about negative sentences? Well, for a negative sentence in the present simple, we either follow the pattern of S plus AV plus not plus I, subject, auxiliary verb, not, infinitive. I don't like computer games. You don't drink red wine. She doesn't dance well. All right, and again, in the last example, we're just creating a negative sentence with an adverb, telling people how this girl or lady or woman does something. Okay, but we're looking at negative sentences in the past simple, aren't we? Oh, yes. Okay, so what's the pattern there? Well, if we're using the verb to be, then the pattern is S plus V plus not, subject plus verb to be plus not plus rest of sentence. The difference is that, as we all remember, when we're making sentences with the verb to be, then there is no auxiliary verb. I wasn't at home. They weren't afraid of giraffes. She wasn't early on Saturday. All right, so that's the case if we're using the verb to be. But what if we're using a different verb? What then? Well, in that case, things change, don't they? If we're using the past simple with a verb which is not the verb to be, then we need an auxiliary verb. We need the past form of the verb to do. We need did. And what's the pattern? S plus AV plus not plus V. Subject, followed by the auxiliary verb, did, followed by the adverb, not, and then the main verb in the infinitive. All right, so let's have another look at those sentences, the ones where not is in the wrong place. Let's look at them again and correct them together. So, look at the first one. Where should the adverb not be? Well, it should come after the verb, so the sentence should read, I don't know. I was not there. Fine. S, subject, V, verb, not, preposition of place. Okay, what about the next one? They not were at work. Okay, so the subject's in the right place. We're starting with that. Good. And what comes next? Well, it shouldn't be the adverb not, should it? No. After the subject, we get the verb, they were. And after the verb, we get the adverb not, they were not. And then, well, we finish with the preposition of place, at work. They weren't at work. Next, last Sunday, he was at not home. Okay, what about this one? Well, this one starts with a time, and that's fine. We can put the time at the beginning or at the end. Last Sunday, blah, 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 or blah, 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 last Sunday. So no problems there, but what about the rest of it? Well, he was is fine, subject followed by verb, but then we've got the mistake. We've got the preposition of place, which is meant to be connected to home. What should come next is the adverb not. It should follow the verb, and then we get the preposition of place, at home. Last Sunday, he wasn't at home. Okay, last one. On Friday, we not were in the pub with Alfredo. So, start with the preposition of time, no problem. Then the subject, fine. And then the adverb, not. What? Ah, that's not in the right place, is it? No. What comes after the subject? That's right, the verb. Okay. So subject, verb, and then the adverb not. We were not. Fine. And then? Well, finish the sentence. On Friday, we weren't in the pub with Alfredo. And that's your lot. Yes, that's the lesson that we planned for you, and you've had it. You're all very nearly at the end of the 560th lesson. And as I said, this is a phenomenal achievement. This is like the longest marriage in Hollywood, multiplied by about 1 trillion. So again, I congratulate you, I salute you, I tip my cap to you, I doff my cap to you, I bow before you. Well done, all of you. You've made an old man very proud. I don't know who this old man is. It can't be me. I'm in the first flushes of youth. Yes, I am. I'm telling you, I'm still in the first flushes of youth. I don't care what my passport says. I'm not interested in what you think about my hair color. All right, now, we have to stop this before it gets ugly. Don't spoil the atmos, you lot. This is Friday night, and we're on a roll. We're riding along on the crest of a wave, and because it's Friday, it's going to get better. So, congratulations once more, and now, get your chores out of the way, and then you can start getting ready for the evening's fun. Shower, hot water, soap, shampoo, conditioner. Unless you're Peggy with a shaved head, then there's not much point, is there? Out of the shower, dry yourselves off, and then the master stroke. Antiperspirant. Beat your armpits into submission with the stuff. Make sure that it's someone else at the party who smells like a homeless dinosaur's armpits, not you. You're a god of English. You've just completed 560 lessons of English. It's not fitting that you should smell like a homeless dinosaur's armpits. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll see you all on Monday. See you later. www.mediaclick.hu. Bye!